Today, we are going to take a look at some of the best big man builds that I have seen for NBA 2K24. We are also going to go over all of the new badge requirements as well, so you know exactly what you need to upgrade on your first build when NBA 2K24 comes out. Something that can also help you remember all of the new badge requirements is using the Unlock Levels tool on NBA2KLabs.com, which is a free feature on the site. Although 2K Labs does provide many useful features that are free, I highly recommend that you get their premium membership that will get you access to all of the best jump shot data, as well as Koza's dribble tutorials, where you will learn how to dribble from one of the best players in the game. And to top it all off, you can get your premium subscription at a discount when using code Joey at checkout. It's going to get you 20% off. All right, so let's take a look at Iggymo's 7'1" popper. Again, the link to his channel is going to be down in the description. And let's start off with the finishing. Going to get an 84 close shot on his build, and I think the best close shot in this situation would actually be an 86, because with the 86 close shot, you're actually going to get gold fearless finisher. And then with this build, you're also going to get fast twitch on silver, which is going to be pretty nice to have, even though this build is a popper. And then when it comes to the driving dunk, we're going to be going with a 55. 55 driving dunk is actually not that bad, because as long as the animation requirements from 23 are pretty similar to 24 when it comes to big man animations, with that 55 driving dunk, you actually are going to get the big man tomahawk dunk package, which is pretty solid, even with a low driving dunk. And then speaking of dunking, we're also going to get an 81 standing dunk, which is what you're going to need to get the basic big man contact dunk packages. Now, although this build is a popper, this is actually going to be really nice to have, because again, you're a big, you want to be able to get some standing dunks to activate. You want to be able to mash a little bit in the paint, and I think that 81 standing dunk is going to do you some justice. Now, my only concern when it comes to the finishing is actually the post control. Now, I understand this is supposed to be a meta popper build, but if you're going to have your close shot up to that 84 to 86 range, I think you should upgrade your post control to a 75 at least, because if you upgrade it to a 75, you'll be able to get the hook specialist badge on gold. And that's a big thing, because you're not going to be able to get those post scoring badges like hook specialist without upgrading your post control. So I think that's going to be a very nice thing to have on this type of build, just so you can shoot some post hooks, right? Because post hooks are always pretty hard to contest. They're pretty easy to go in, and especially when you're on a 7-1 like this. And even though it's a popper, it would still be nice to do. Now, when it comes to the shooting, you're only going to get a 74 3-pointer, and this is going to be the trend with taller builds this year, especially with maximum wingspan. You're not going to get a high 3-pointer like you would in last year's game, so you're only going to get a 74 3-pointer. And I wouldn't be surprised if poppers this year, if they actually want to get good jump shots and good badges, they also have to upgrade their mid-range as well, because you can actually get badges like catch and shoot this year with upgrading your mid-range shot. And one other thing is that it might be difficult to get the proper jump shot that you need on this build with just a 74 3-pointer, because you are still going to need a specific 3-point rating to unlock specific jump shots. And so we're going to have to wait and see which jump shots are really good and what 3-pointer they require, especially for these poppers. And then when it comes to the playmaking, I mean, this is pretty solid, pretty quick and simple. 86 pass accuracy, that's going to get you gold break starter. It's also going to get you access to a lot of different passing styles. You can use Nikola Jokic, which you unlock at a 80. You can use Domantas Sabonis, which you unlock at a 75. And overall, I think at 86 pass accuracy is going to be a very nice threshold when it comes to big men this year, because that gold break starter is always really nice to have. And in the half court set, an 86 pass accuracy is going to have your passes zooming across the court. And then defense, I'm actually going to jump to the rebounding in this section first and talk about one thing. Since this build is a popper, I think it's actually going to be way better to go with the 99 defensive rebound instead of 99 offensive rebound. And even then, with how expensive it looks like 99 attributes are in this game, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people just settle for the gold rebound chaser and go for a 92 or 93 defensive rebound. 92 for the gold rebound chaser, and then 93 for Hall of Fame box out beast if your build has a 90 strength, which this build does not, has an 88. So maybe if we ticked up the weight just a little bit more and get that 90 strength, we could get box out beast on Hall of Fame on this build with a 93 defensive rebound, which I think would be really good for a popper center. And it would probably kick the offensive rebound down to like a 75 to 80, maybe a little bit higher than that. And the block is actually okay on this build as well. The block is going to be a 92. That's going to be enough for gold anchor. And then the new thing this year with big man builds is you cannot get chase down artists without having speed and vertical on your build as well. So this popper could actually get chase down artist on silver if you have a 60 speed and a 74 vertical. So I think knocking up the vertical just a little bit in the physicals will be a nice thing to have. And obviously we'll talk about that later on with this build. Then when it comes to the steal is a 67. 67 is okay. I think you need a 60 steal to unlock bronze interceptor. So I honestly probably would have just went with a 60 instead of a 67. And then my two main concerns with this build are the interior defense and the perimeter defense. Now I understand usually perimeter defense on centers is going to be very low, but I really do not like like having my perimeter defense at a minimum on my center builds, because usually you're going to be guarding people in the corner if they're spot up shooters, and you want to have that perimeter defense just so they can't just shoot through whatever contest you provide. Then the interior defense, since you actually have the high strength, which would help you unlock those higher post move lockdown badges, I would recommend probably going with an 88 interior on this build, because you can get the gold post move lockdown with that interior defense plus an 84 strength. Now realistically, I did provide a lot of changes that I would make with this build, and it would require me to upgrade a lot of things, so I definitely would probably drop the offensive rebound down at least to an 80, and then kick the defensive rebound up to a 93 to get that Hall of Fame box out beast and the gold rebound chaser. And then I would probably bring up the vertical as well, bring up the post control to a 75, bring up the interior to an 88 if I can, and max out the perimeter defense. I think those would be the main changes that I would make to this build. I don't know if I could make all of those, but if I could, those are the changes that I would definitely like to make. All right, so now we're going to take a look at this pure inside build, and this is actually made by Hollywood 2K. He got to go to community day and he ended up making this build. This is a 7'2" center with an 8-foot wingspan. And starting off with the finishing, I'm liking what I'm seeing already. That 86 close shot's going to get you that gold fearless finisher, gold masher, silver fast twitch, which is going to be really nice to have on this inside big. And then like I mentioned last time, you're going to get that 55 driving dunk, and if the animations stay the same, you're going to get that basic big man tomahawk package, which is really nice. And then the standing dunk is going to be a 90. That's going to be enough to get the elite big man contact dunks, but if I remember correctly, you're actually going to need a 75 vertical as well to still get that. And his vertical is only a 70, so that might be one change that you're going to have to make with this build. Even though I don't play on pure insides a whole lot, I actually really don't like having the 90 standing dunk. I prefer just having an 80 standing dunk, maybe a higher close shot, and throwing some attributes in other places. But if you want that 90 standing dunk, you can absolutely do it. And I think standing dunks are going to be really good next year, especially with the new standing dunk meter that has been revamped for 2K24. And then moving on to the shooting. Oh wait, this is the pure inside. Pass accuracy is going to be pretty simple on that build. You're going to get an 86 pass accuracy. That's enough for gold break starter. And then a half court set, 86 pass accuracy is going to be really nice to have. Then moving on to the defense. Again, I'm going to start with rebounding once again. This is actually a much better situation. You're going to get that 99 offensive rebound, which is way better to have on a pure inside than it is on a popper. But my one concern is though, is that this build actually only does get silver box out beast. And I do want to make a little bit of a prediction when it comes to like the meta inside centers for 2K24. I feel like if you're going to make a pure inside, you need to go for the 90 strength so you can get box out beast on Hall of Fame, because I feel like that badge is way more essential for getting offensive rebounds than it is for defensive rebounds. I feel like it's a lot easier to box out for defensive rebounds than it is for trying to fight for positioning with offensive rebounds. So I think pure insides that are really trying to get those crazy offensive rebounds, you're going to need that Hall of Fame box out beast that you get with 90 strength. One other thing is that he missed the anchor gold rating by 1. He has a 91 block where he needed 92 block to get anchor on gold. And once again, the perimeter defense is not upgraded on this build. I hate it when centers don't have perimeter D upgraded. I think for challenger on bronze, you're going to need a 60 this year. It's not a badge that you get on default with big mans anymore. So I think if you want bronze challenger, you need a 60 perimeter defense, which it looks like this build can get because it does have a 60 steal for the bronze interceptor. So yeah, I highly recommend you get at least a 60 perimeter defense on your center if you can, so you can at least get that bronze challenger. And then when it comes to the interior defense, God, I hate the 72 interior. And the other thing is too, is that with interior defense, you actually have to upgrade interior defense this year to get anchor. So for gold anchor, you need a 92 block and a 77 interior defense just to unlock the badge. And then depending on how much you upgrade your strength, you can go up to an 82 interior defense and get the post move lockdown badge on silver, go up to 88 to get post move lockdown badge on gold. And that's obviously going to fluctuate with your strength ratings as well. You're going to need higher strength to get those post move lockdown badges at higher ratings. And then when it comes to the physicals on this build, speed, acceleration are maxed out. The 75 strength is a little concerning as well. I think again, pure insides really need to go for that 90 strength this year. Get that Hall of Fame box out beast, allow you to worm around people, swim around people, get crazy offensive rebounds. I think that's just going to be the meta this year. I think the insides are going to be way stronger than the popper builds this year, just so you can get rebounds easier. And then again, talked about the vertical already. Probably going to need to go with the 75 vertical if you can on this build, just to even get the elite big man contact dunk packages. And it's always nice to just max out your vertical on a center build because it's going to help you get more blocks and more rebounds. And then that's pretty much it for this build. It's pretty solid, not gonna lie. And then the last build we're going to take a look at is Spida's 7-foot popper build. Again, the link to his channel is going to be down in the description. Starting off with the finishing, you're going to get that 80 close shot for silver fast twitch, and you're also going to get pro touch on Hall of Fame with this build, which can actually be really good when you're trying to mash and hit those standing layups with the layup timing on. This build is actually going to get an 80 driving dunk. Now the 80 driving dunk might actually be really nice again this year, but we're not going to know for certain until we can get our hands on the game and see what animations that we need for specific dunk packages. But just based off of the animations from last year, you can definitely get the Karl Anthony Towns dunk package on this build, which actually gets you some really nice tomahawk dunk animations without limitless takeoff, and that badge is gone. So you're going to need dunk packages that are really good this year. Then when it comes to the standing dunk, we're going to go with an 85. I'm not exactly sure why 85 specifically. I don't know if there's a specific badge that you need at 85. I know 81 you get rise up up on silver, and 83 is Aerial Wizard on gold, but I don't think there's anything at 85. I don't know, maybe it was just different on the community day version of the build that they were doing. And then again, the thing that I've mentioned with the other builds, if you're gonna upgrade your close shot to like the 80, 85 range, you might as well upgrade your post control a little bit as well, just so you can get that post hook badge. And he also upgraded his MIDI too, so yeah, upgrade the post control just a little bit so you can hit those post fades, post hooks, and actually unlock those badges on higher levels. And then when it comes to the shooting, we're gonna go with a 78 three-pointer and a 70 mid-range shot. I think for MIDI, it would be nice to go up to the 72 rating because that'll get you MIDI Magician on silver. And then the 78 three-pointer is gonna be pretty nice too when it comes to your catch and shoot situations. And again, we don't know if 78 three-pointer is gonna be really good. We gotta see what the shooting like is on this game, and we gotta see what the attribute requirements are for good jump shots in this game. Then moving on to the playmaking, pass accuracy is a 75. This is very different from the other two builds that both had 86. 75 is gonna be enough for silver break starter, and you'll be able to use the Domantas Sabonis passing style. We don't know if that passing style is good. It might be like last year where there's only 1-2 good passing styles, or you might as well just use none. So we're not entirely sure how that's going to be. I don't know how the pass speeds are going to be in this game. Is 75 pass accuracy going to be viable again this year like it was last year? Yeah, that's pretty much it for the playmaking. And then moving on to the defense, we're going to get an 80 interior, which is pretty nice. I would like to go to 82 to get that post move lockdown on silver. And then since the strength is so high on this build, you could probably go up to an 88 and get post move lockdown on gold. I don't know if you'd have enough attribute ratings to do it. Maybe you lower your driving dunk, your mid-range a little bit. Not entirely certain how you would get it. And then my biggest pet peeve in the world, I don't understand why the people at Community Day were making their centers like this. For the love of Jesus Christ himself, you need to put perimeter defense on your center. I don't care. I do not care. I don't care if you're not guarding pick and roll. I don't care if you're not guarding this, that, the other. You need at least bronze challengers so you can actually get good jump shot contests in this game. Please, for the love of God. Make sure when you make a center build, put enough perimeter defense to get bronze challenger. It's a 60 perimeter defense. It's not a tall task, okay? Just make it happen. But the steal is good. You got that 60 steal for the bronze interceptor. That's not that bad. And then when it comes to the block, I actually want to talk about 7-foot centers when it comes to blocking, okay? Now, we've talked about this pretty much throughout this entire video. You're going to need vertical. You're going to need speed to unlock chase down artists. Now, one really important thing that I want to point out with 7-foot centers next year. 7-foot centers are going to be the tallest height that you can get chase down artists on Hall of Fame. Because for chase down artists on Hall of Fame, you're going to need a 71 speed, a 83 vertical, and a 94 block. Now, obviously, this version of the build does not have 71 speed, but that's because his weight is all the way up to 244 pounds. If you drop it down to probably like 220, you can probably get that speed up to 71. I'm pretty certain that that is possible. And then you can most definitely get the vertical up to an 83. And again, this is going to be the tallest build that can get chase down artists on Hall of Fame, which is going to be really nice to have on this type of defensive build. The offensive rebound is okay, a little low. 66 is a little low. I'd probably go like 75, maybe 80 if you can. Again, I don't know what the builder's going to be like. I don't know if I can even do that. The builder's sounding like it's going to be a lot more limited this year. And then when it comes to defensive rebound, he did go with a 95. Maybe at Community Day, 95 defensive rebound was what you needed for Box Out Beast on Hall of Fame, but now it is only a 93. And then for Rebound Chaser on gold, you're also going to get that as well. And then you're also going to get Rebound Chaser on gold on this build as well, which is really nice. Moving down to the physicals, again, if you can get that 71 speed on this build, that would be really great because that's going to get you chase down artists on Hall of Fame. Strength is a 92. Not entirely sure why we went with a 92. Even with that being said, I feel like the best strength rating for popper builds this year is probably going to be the 84 if you're not going to go for that Hall of Fame Box Out Beast. And if you are going for Hall of Fame Box Out Beast, you're going to need 90 strength. There's no way to circumnavigate that. But if I do want to get Hall of Fame chase down artists on this build, I might actually lower the weight, just go down to an 84 strength just to get chase down artists on Hall of Fame. And then like I said with the vertical, I like having at least the 80 vertical on all my centers, even not higher, maybe go up to an 85 if I can. And then everything else on this build is pretty solid. And that's actually going to be pretty much it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed these little my player breakdowns that I'm doing. Obviously, I do not have any of my own Community Day footage because I did not get to go, but I'm going to try and get as much content out as possible that we've gotten from people that did get to go and are uploading their content. With all that out of the way, man, I'm out of here. Peace.